episode 81. I'm Alex Live with Sparky 3. Hope you're having an incredible day, whatever day you're listening or perhaps watching this podcast. Over at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Sparky 3. Make sure you give us a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, be a friend, tell a friend that you're watching or listening. Join with me, as always. I got both the boys. I got Zach here in the studio. Zach, how you doing? How you feeling?
Doing good. Not really a whole lot to go with this week, but I'm doing good.
That's good. Good to hear. And we got John over Discord. John, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Been a not the most exciting week, but we got some spicy things here.
We do have some spicy things to talk about because while we may not have been up to a whole lot this week, there's been some decent stuff popping out in the gaming industry that we're going to chat about. Of course, we finally got to figure out what this Project Spartacus is, which is still just called PlayStation Plus. Well, makes sense. Some big delay news out of Nintendo. Going to chat about that, as well as some other little tidbits information. If you could, go follow us at Twitter, at GameStaticPod. We appreciate that follow. And of course, make sure to go check out our website, sparky3.com. You can sign up for free, or you can sign up for $5 a month to get early access to podcast episodes, exclusive other perks like that. You can also join our Discord server, link down in the description below, and check out the other shows such as Animan Plus, Terrible Football Show, and talk about movies and stuff. We will be on a break next week and then resume the week following. Just on a break to finish setting up the new studio. Still working on it. Just kind of threw some displays up there, trying to get the lines set up, get foam paneling done. I just need to move as well. So it's going to be a very busy week for me. Very out of this week, I've got shit that I've got to do every single day up to the move besides Wednesday. Wednesday is my one day where I'm going to get to not do anything. I'm going to see Sonic 2, and I'm so immensely excited. It's going to be a phenomenal time to go see the greatest movie in history. So can't wait to talk about that on a future Talking About Movies and Stuff episode. With that said, I feel like we can probably go ahead and jump into some general conversation. Boys, anything that we want to shout out, talk about before we jump into everything?
Well, what I just read, I didn't realize the Yakuza series going forward from Like a Dragon's all going to be JRPG, like a Dragon was.
Yeah, like every game going forward, right, is what you were saying.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting. Not sure how much. I mean, Like a Dragon was novel. It was a fun game, but doing the whole series like that, I'll be sort of seeing how the transition goes, considering the free flow combat was always really nice in the game.
Right. And you think that could be a little concerning for the series as a whole?
Yeah, depending on how it goes. I mean, if they make it a bit more smoother than it was in Like a Dragon, might be okay, but Like a Dragon is sort of abrupt, like a random encounter. People show up, transitions to a whole nother screen, and then have to transition out of a screen, versus the other Yakuza games, it was just someone approaches, oh, fists are out.
Right. Well, what have they already announced, like, what the next Yakuza game is?
I don't think they've actually given a name, but we know it's in production.
Oh, okay. What was the one that just came out? Because it's like a spin-off of the Yakuza series, right?
The last one I know of is Like a Dragon. Was there another one that came out recently?
Well, like,
He's talking about the Judgment.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's
Judgment.
That's what it was.
It's same universe, different.
Yeah,
thing,
okay. I wasn't sure. So so that one, its new game already came out. Yeah. So now we're just waiting for whatever this unannounced Yakuza is that we know is in.
That came out back in October, and I mean, it was okay received.
Okay. Gotcha. What do you guys think of the Forspoken gameplay? John, you were just kind of checking some of it out before we started. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I was kind of rewatching sections of it. I do still think, I've said before, that some of the spell effects in that just looked a little odd compared to everything else, and they do still look a bit odd to me. I mean, that could just be me, but overall, the combat and everything looks super flashy. And
yeah, that's one way to put it.
Even using, I mean, it looks like even using like the spells and that to help like traverse around in the areas they were demonstrating. I mean, it looks really good right now. I mean, the combat looks crazy. It's like, it looks like you can have different abilities kind of selected on little presets that you can swap to on a fly.
Yeah.
And then if you decide in the moment you need to swap between them, it looks like there's a time slowdown effect, which is always helpful.
Yeah, it's kind of like how it was with Guardians of the Galaxy. It had the same sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's always nice to have that as opposed to like having a pause game, going to menus and that, where it just feels a little more doesn't take you out of the fight necessarily.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It looks really good.
After watching it, out of our 2 spell slinging games we're supposed to see this year, which one are you more interested in, Hogwarts or Forspoken?
Combat-wise, Forspoken. But just in general, game-wise, Hogwarts Legacy.
I would probably agree to that. Is gameplay-wise alone, probably Forspoken, but I think as an entire game, maybe Hogwarts Legacy. I'd probably agree to that.
Because from the Hogwarts Legacy gameplay, it looks a little slower paced combat, where it seems like a lot of it depends on how well you are at like parrying attacks or parrying spells for the most part. Like that seems to be a pretty big aspect of it.
See, for me, it seemed more like a specking thing, because I think it did show a dodge roll at least one point.
Mm-hmm.
So dodge roll, throw some plants on the ground, continue to dodge roll.
More plants.
Pretty much.
Let the plants go beat them up.
If I pick this up early, I'm going to see if I can just do a plant run.
Please do.
But yeah, overall, I think currently, even though I did just say that Hogwarts Legacy is probably the game I'm more excited to play, after having rewatched that, I'm more ready to play Forspoken.
Yeah, I am pretty pumped for Forspoken. That's coming out in October. And I'm cool with that, let it polish out a little bit more. But yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for Spoke, because I've only watched about 5 minutes of that gameplay, and I meant to go back to
How long's
it. But
the video?
it's only like 8 minutes worth of gameplay,
Okay.
which is still a good amount.
I mean, that's still long.
Yeah. So I only watched about 4 minutes, and like, bro, that was so flashy. And like John was saying, lots of different combos you can pop out. So it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. You get that gameplay down, you're gonna have a blast. You're gonna feel powerful. You know what I mean? Which is always a dope thing. Let's go ahead and jump into some stuff. One Piece Odyssey was revealed. We kind of chatted about that on Anime Plus.
Yeah.
New One Piece game set to come out this year, actually. JRPG, epic adventure to experience One Piece world. Oda is very much involved with this game, which is interesting because, like, out of all the other One Piece games we've had before, I don't know, out of, like, let's say, like, World Seeker being an example, I don't know of games like those if he's actually been involved before, because I've never seen it advertised like this.
As far as I'm aware, if he has, it hasn't been pushed as hard as Odyssey has been.
Yeah, because like it's big push that Oda is like, basically
involved.
Help write the story, design the characters and the monsters, which that's all good for the series, of course. Apparently this, from what I'm seeing from rumors, this One Piece game is the One Piece game that has had the longest development time. So they're actually like, it's not one of those generic like anime games that gets pushed out, super quick, which is a good thing. It's going to apparently be running on Unreal Engine, which that's dope, and coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox Series, Steam, coming out this year. I'm not a huge One Piece fan, but this does look pretty cool, and something that I'm definitely keep my eye on. How'd you boys feel about it? 'Cause I know none of us here are massive one. Like, you're probably the biggest One Piece fan out of the three of us, and you're not even a massive One Piece fan really anymore, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But how are we feeling about this? I thought it actually looked pretty good, which is cool to see, because let's be real, when it comes to anime games, like, Dragon Ball is really the only one that gets love treatment, and even then it's got some misses. Like Naruto had its time, but everything else kind of gets shafted. So how are we feeling about this one?
I mean, I forget, did they actually release a video
for
Odyssey at all? Because all I've ever seen is screenshots.
Yeah, there was an actual video.
Okay.
Yeah, there's I know there's at least like a 2-3 minute trailer for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've only seen the screenshots. I mean, the screenshots look nice on the Unreal Engine, so I'm really happy with how the engine's looking for it and everything. As for the actual mechanics of the game, I'll be curious, because it's being called Odyssey, and at least from the screenshots, it shows the entire crew to date in the manga. And besides, I don't know, in the screenshots I saw, I didn't see Jinbei. Is Jinbei amongst them?
I think he was. I think Jinbei was with them.
Okay. So I'm going to be curious if it's just going to be a focus thing on the Straw Hat crew, or if we're going to get some alien allies specific to this story. And I'm going to be curious how it flows, seeing as it is a JRPG.
Yeah.
How big of a party are we going at once? Because this is a large cast of characters. And if starting with this large cast of characters, I assume there's, based on how the characters have fight in the series and whatnot, each of them are going to have their own little mechanics or niches for why you may want to choose one over the other. Like, I could see Nami being a very hard debuff character, Usopp being one of your ranged and things like that. Of course, you got your initial strong 3 on the main cast.
Right.
So I'll be curious to see how each one functions and where the versatility on that, if it's going to be more of a thing of you find your characters in set, where you actually have reason to switch amongst them. Will they try and pull something like Guardians of the Galaxy where everyone's actually fighting and you're just doing commands?
Yeah, you're just Luffy.
Yeah. Which I don't think that would fit as nice as it did in Guardians, but doing something similar to that.
Right.
Give more of that feel of they're all involved in some way.
Yeah, see, I can agree with you on that. Like, I would not like if they took like the Guardians approach where you were only playing as Luffy and just gave commands. I wouldn't be a big fan of that one, especially with how like independently these characters think.
Yeah.
I mean, like Zoro's gonna do his own thing, man. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I wouldn't be a huge fan of that. One random thing that I'll be curious about for this game, since Oda's been involved with it, and you know how far ahead Oda plans. I mean, he's already said his story is done if something happens to him, like you know, step by step.
If he unfortunately passes,
it's done. It's good.
just going to keep going.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So I will be curious if like the recent big reveal that happened in the manga will be in the game for Luffy. You know what I mean? Like,
considering he's involved, it's possible.
Yeah, like I wonder if that'll be like a late game sort of thing that you can get for Luffy,
or maybe it's just like a cosmetic thing that.
Yeah. Which, if that's the case, that would be insane to play with. Because after reading today's chapter, I'm telling you, Luffy's a full blown cartoon character now. It's absolutely insane.
This might come as a shock to you guys, knowing that I know nothing about One Piece. I actually know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I figured you might, because like it was a big thing that when it came out like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that you saw something about it.
Video popped up explaining it, and I watched it for some reason.
Oh, okay. He's a full-blown cartoon character now, man. So I would be curious to see if that was in the game. That'd be interesting. But I mean, either way, it does look like a pretty a very ambitious game for One Piece, which you know we haven't really seen a lot of. It's like the most ambitious one we had was World Seeker, and before that, it's just the Warriors games, you know, and then like some other fighting games that I don't think's come over here.
I was about to say there was one other sort of big world one that never came over to the West that I can't think of right now. All I remember from it is there was a small collectible of trying to find Panda Man throughout all the maps.
I know Josh was wanting to buy World Seeker. It was on sale recently in that spring sale for $8. I mentioned that to you, and I was thinking about picking it up too. But apparently the sale ended on the 31st. So when Josh got paid on Friday, he's like, "Dude, what the fuck is this shit?"
Oof.
You know, and he's just like, "Damn it!" I'm just like, I mean, I just didn't pick it up because I forgot. And he's just like, he was waiting to get paid. I'm like, it was $9. Like,
I was gonna say, I think the last one I bought was the last one released on PS3, which is like called Red or something. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's still sitting on a shelf. I never actually played it.
Oh, okay. Just sits there collecting dust.
Pretty much.
Any last thoughts on the One Piece Odyssey, or are we ready to move on?
I don't know. I don't have a lot of like I said, I'm not a big on One Piece. One thing I would be curious about as kind of more information comes out is the scale of the game as far as like how big the world is actually going to be, if it's going to be like a full world. And also, like, it's always, like, especially for, like, JRPG games like this, like, estimated playthrough times, like, what they project, like, a playtime would end up being, because that, I mean, hell, every RPG developer ends up giving their estimate for what it's going to be. And, I don't know, for depending on the world size, the longer may be the better, but I don't know. Because I'm not, like I said, haven't necessarily been interested in that world, but I may end up looking at it. I might end up waiting to hear some more about it after it actually comes out.
I mean, that's sort of my curious on what scale the world's going to be, because the fact that they're calling it Odyssey, they're giving it a name that makes you think it's going to be fairly large, and assuming that you're going to be doing some exploration of some sort. So I'll be curious to see how much is free roam, which has become more popular over in JRPGs, versus just rails.
Right. And I wonder also, like, will you be able to, like, you know, ride the Sunny, going from like destination to destination, and
I
have
would
like,
assume so.
and have like fun interactions on the boat, kind of like what you talked about with Black Flag. I wonder if something like that will be in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume so. It probably won't be good as a Black Flag because nothing can beat sea shanties.
Yeah, apparently Black Flag travel is the best.
You don't fast travel in Black Flag.
It's like I think John, I think you're the one that said this on episode 50 when we got to Spider-Man, where it's like you've done a game right when you have a fast travel option and you don't use it because the way you travel is good. That would be Spider-Man, that would be Black Flag, and who knows, maybe One Piece Odyssey. Depending on how good the ship interactions are.
It just plays Bink sake the entire time.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So next up that we've got is I've seen this rumor a lot. Like this is floating around quite a bit. Where apparently Netease is apparently buying Quantic Dream, which would be interesting because they've been waiting for a purchase for a while because of all their allegations they've got going on. So if Netease is going to be the one that's going to step in and buy them, that would be very interesting to say the least. I know it doesn't matter for anything because anyone can edit, but I did notice on Wikipedia it was already updated where they were the parent company. I know that doesn't necessarily matter for anything, but I did notice that. So that's just something to keep an eye on. And another thing to keep an eye on as well is this shouldn't be like an April Fool's joke, because I saw this pretty much the week leading up to it. Is I've seen a lot of rumors that apparently Sony is set to buy FromSoft sometime this year. So that is something else to keep an eye on, which it'd be very interesting if they end up buying FromSoft, because I don't know. It's just, I get it. They've developed, the biggest game in their, series history, their franchise, company history now.
Yeah.
In terms of popularity. But I don't know. I don't feel like Sony needs FromSoft, if that makes sense, with what they offer. But I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts on the FromSoft potential purchase? If not, it's all good. I'm just curious.
Not really. From what it seems like we're going to is more or less a big thing of in the future, may end up just being everyone either under Microsoft or everyone under Sony, and then Nintendo's doing Nintendo things.
That's true.
With some other developers here and there. So, do they need FromSoft? Probably not. But based on where things are sort of heading, at least in terms of game companies and whatnot, yeah. Probably sort of where everything's going anyways.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that they'd be necessarily looking to purchase them right now, and more of like sending out feelers for like, hey, if we come around, would you be interested in it?
Yeah.
Is what I could see it more being like at the current time. Right.
Yeah, I could agree to that. Just kind of testing the waters,
Yeah, just like, hey, we're maybe not now, but if we came in like a couple years or something, would you be down for that?
Yeah, exactly. So next thing we've got, it's back in the news in some capacity. Good old Blue Box Game Studios. It's back in the news, bro.
Just let it die.
At this point, I know, bro. All right, so it's two pieces of news, because I saw the other one pop out just today, and I saw a lot of people very pissed off at this question because it's just like such a dumb fucking question. So the first thing is that Blue Box put out a large statement tweet, whatever, saying that, hey, I know there's been a lot of rumors that the game is canceled. The game is not canceled. It's still happening. We're still working on Abandon the Prologue. This game is coming out, I promise. And then even, there was another follow-up tweet from Hassan, the founder of Blue Box, where he's just like, oh, yeah, I apologize. I didn't do super good in this interview with whoever, which I don't know what interview he's referring to. I didn't know he was on a recent interview. Where he's like, yeah, but I am who I say I am, I promise. And I'm like, all right, bro, shut the fuck up.
Who I say I am.
And then the thing they put out today that got a lot of people just like, are you fucking kidding me? Is Blue Box put out a poll tweet where it's just like, the question was something along the lines like, do you want to see like developmental footage while we're working on it, or just wait for the finished product? It's like that was the two questions, and everyone's just like, are you fucking kidding me at this point? Like, just fucking show us something if this game is real, or just go away. It's one of the two. Go away forever and stay out of our fucking timeline, or actually show us that this game is real. So naturally, show us something. What had a outstanding, win right there. And Blue Box then replies, just like, "Oh, we take your comments and your voting very seriously." It's just like, "Oh yeah, then please show us gameplay. Show us something."
They can't show you gameplay. They haven't made a game yet.
This thing is more extinct than Digimon Survive.
Hey, that game's coming out.
I don't know about that one.
That game's coming out.
That's why Survive supposedly got to come. At least has a teaser trailer. This
The
thing,
teaser trailer is nothing but a bunch of pictures.
it's still more than Abandoned. We
true.
don't even have pictures.
All we got for Abandoned
but
was
these
the
pictures
floorboard
could
of
have
the
been
guy
from
walking on
anything.
it.
You got to understand, this is Digimon. They could have had these pictures at any point in time and just pulled them.
Again, Abandoned. They didn't even take the time to take something off fucking Google Print and put it on a goddamn background.
That's because it doesn't exist yet. They don't have anything to pull from. Digimon has decades to pull from.
I do like what Zach, what you said a while back about Abandoned. It's just like the playtime experience is being abandoned.
Yes, yes, that's literally what it is.
This game is a giant meme.
The problem is, like, people are waiting on the game to come out, but their playtime has just been going up this entire time.
Yep.
Yeah. When will this end?
Never.
When will this actually end? Oh, Jesus Christ, bro.
This is something that shouldn't be had. This is from a company that's literally hemorrhaging money as far as we're concerned.
That's I don't know how they operate. Like, based on the track history that I showed you, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how they operate as a company. That baffles the shit out of me.
Fucking hidden oil mines.
Well, maybe one day we'll get the final chapter to this fucking story. Just like the game is canceled and then we never hear from Blue Box again. So we'll see. Last quick thing here I wanted to shout out is apparently I've seen this from a lot of people, including I think it was Jeff Grubb that actually talked about this as well. Apparently Microsoft is working on a new Xbox Game Pass family plan up to 5 people. It's fascinating to me because that sounds like something Xbox would do. They're very like, hey, we're for the people. It's kind of the vibe that they put off in public. That is, like Phil likes to put that off quite a bit. But at the same time, they also like their money. So, but they also have a lot of money as is. I don't know, because that's just less subscriptions that someone's, that they could get essentially. But they have like 25 million subscribers right now anyway. So I don't know. I just thought I'd shout that out. That'd be kind of interesting. I'm not looking to share a subscription with you guys though. So, but
Rude.
either, John, do you want to split a subscription with me? I mean, mine's already paid up for until 2023. I showed you that.
Yours is paid up for. Mine's not.
Oh yeah, are you paying monthly?
Could you just convert that to a family plan? Call it good.
I'll think about it. Because I mean, come Black Friday this year, I'm buying like 5 more 3-month cards. I'm stacking those things up, man. Hey, that's the play. That is the play when it comes to that. That's big brain plays. All right, so let's actually get to our 3 main talking points. We'll just go in order of the script. That's fine. So the first one that popped out, well, not the first one that popped out in order, but the first one we'll chat about is Breath of the Wild 2 has been officially delayed to spring 2023. Kind of figured this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Been kind of radio silent since end of last year, I think is when it was, because that was when they announced Age of Calamity, I believe. It was Age of Calamity was last year. So no real surprise. Whenever they had that last update, they said up front then that we're aiming for 2022. When they said that, at that point, I never honestly believed it was coming this year. I know me and Josh have argued about that since, where Josh was like, "Oh no, it'll come out this year." It's like, I don't think it will, dude. I really, really don't. Or they would have hammered 2022.
Yeah.
So no big surprise there. I'm actually very happy with this because I've said this before when we chat about it. Zelda has really become like that yearly franchise for Nintendo, like Pokemon, right? So my thing was, if Breath of the Wild 2 would have come out this year, I feel like that would have hurt the chances for a couple of different things to come out this year instead. Like, one thing a lot of people would want, like myself, is the Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD Wii U ports, as a combo pack. That's something a lot of people would want. It's one of the last, because that's something that I would say is pretty likely considering Nintendo's track record of porting up Wii U games. That's kind of their thing. So I feel like if Breath of the Wild 2 would have come out this year, the chances for that would have been hurt. So I definitely think there's a possibility for that coming out this year. My other thoughts is that I think we could potentially get another remake in the same style as Awakening. I'm still going to hammer. I could see the Oracle games, both of them being remade into one bundle. I do think that it's a possibility because I mean, Link's Awakening was made by a secondary team anyway. You know, it wasn't made by the primary team because they've been on Breath of the Wild the whole time. You know, I don't think we'll see Majora's Ocarina of Time because they want you to get Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
So that won't happen. I'm pretty positive A Link to the Past is on the Super Nintendo NSO.
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
So
Plus Link's Adventure 2.
Yeah, so I don't see like anything like the first game, second game, or Link to the Past getting that Link's Awakening remake treatment. That's why I immediately thought, okay, well, Link's Awakening Game Boy Color game or Game Boy game, why not the other one? There were 2 Oracle games. So, I mean, I think that's going to be a possibility of what you can see this year. But, I mean, other than that, no real surprise that it gets delayed. And I put this on Twitter, and I'm going to hammer it again. Hammer Switch 4K next year in spring. It's going to launch alongside this game, for sure. There's no doubt in my mind at this point.
Know what we really need now that Zelda's not coming out this year?
What do we need, Zach?
Pikmin 4.
Not gonna happen. Just
people can dream
down right now.
Pikmin's it's getting to the point where it's falling into the same realm as like a Star Fox right now.
I mean, it's falling more closer to Captain Falcon.
Rip F-Zero.
F-Zero's dead as shit.
Yeah, that is as dead as can be. Pikmin may get some love again.
You think it's dead, and then another Nintendo Direct's gonna happen where they're gonna go, guess what?
F-Zero. But no, like I'm serious, guys. I would hammer Switch 4K to launch in spring. I mean, it lines up with the same sort of release they did previously in 2017. I would probably say look for May, because that would be the exact amount of time on the dot essentially for when the last game and console came out. So that's what I would think is going to happen. Because in my opinion, if you're going to launch this game, launch the 4K Switch alongside of it. I mean, just sell units so quickly, more than you already would anyway. And it would be this would be the third Zelda to get the cross-gen treatment, because it was Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild, and now Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
And all 3 sold very well. So, I mean, I don't think the delay is a big deal. I mean, I think it's good for Zelda because it gives us an opportunity to maybe get the port of Twilight Princess Wind Waker this year, which would be super cool. Give us the opportunity to maybe see like the Oracle games remade, which I would love that. I would love if they remade those, as well as like add on what the third canceled game content was going to be, because they had pretty fleshed out a third game, for the Oracle games, and then they just ended up canceling it. So maybe bring some of that content into it as well. That'd be cool. So I don't know. Boys, any thoughts on the Breath of the Wild stuff?
I wasn't surprised they delayed the game. Yeah. I mean, pretty much since the beginning of the year. Just been waiting on the news that it had been delayed. Right. Honestly, because the longer they waited for it, the more, like, if they waited on it too long, then people are going to be like, okay, well, you should have told us this a little bit sooner. But first quarter telling us not too bad, basically, or just shy or right before end of first quarter. Mm-hmm. Not bad. As far as like the HD remakes this year, I mean, I feel like we've talked about that almost every year. It's like a new one's gonna come out, because it's always Breath of the Wild 2 got announced, and it's like, okay, well, I guess that's taking the place, and then it's getting pushed. So I guess that's just a matter of, have they actually been working on it? Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, if they have been working on it, then and they were like, okay, well, we're actually getting done with this sooner than we expected to, and it's like, okay, well, we could put that out and then polish Breath of the Wild 2 a little bit more. That would be great if that's what the case ended up being. Mm-hmm. Especially because it'd be nice if like a combo pack like that did come out, because then it's like, because then I'd end up picking that up because I haven't played those games. So, I mean, but as far as Breath of the Wild 2, Yeah, go ahead, delay it. Polish it up as much as you need to. I mean, it's not like people aren't going to buy it because you pushed it another 8 months or something.
Right, and plus in terms of like Nintendo's case, it's not like we haven't seen delays work out for the better anyway. We saw it happen with Animal Crossing. You know, New Horizons got delayed, like about the same range, about, 6 months?
Yeah.
You know, pushed into the next year and it quickly became the highest selling Switch game of all time. And then Mario Kart 8 beat it out again because, again, it's bundled with the console. But either way, so I mean, it was going to sell regardless. And I will say, no matter what comes out, it doesn't matter if it's like, these Link's Awakening style remakes of the Orc games. It doesn't matter if it's Wind Waker or Twilight Princess. Either one doesn't matter. Whatever comes out, plus Breath of the Wild 2 coming out next year, I mean, dude, Switch generation, by far the best generation for Zelda. Flat out, no contest. Because you already have Breath of the Wild, good game, great game. You have Skyward Sword that got brought up, dope. You already have 2 Hyrule Warriors games, cool. You have the Candace of Hyrule. Yeah, it's called Candace of Hyrule, I think. And then whatever this is going to be as well, then Link's Awakening on top of it, like, dude, best generation for Zelda. Like, there's a lot of titles there.
Wow, they're going to do another of the older Zelda games as a Game & Watch.
Oh, Jesus.
Would not surprise me.
Well, they did do that, but I guess they'll do, like, what, Zelda 2 this time? Or Link to the Past? Because they did that for Zelda 35th last year, the first Zelda. And you can still fucking find it, bro. That shit didn't sell.
Just in everyone's pocket. Excuse me, princess.
No. No. Oh, geez. Please no. Please no. Speaking of also talking about stuff getting delayed, in this case, I guess canceled, E3 2022 officially got its cancellation, but I say delay because apparently ESA, the parent company for E3, they're planning to make a return in 2023, and apparently a big way is what they said. They set up for a bigger return. But like even with E3 this year, there's not even a digital event, which at this point this was ultimately the right move because I mean we were like when this news came out, we were just about to hit April and still nothing on E3. So like if they would have came out like the 31st or the 30th said, oh yeah, we're doing E3 digitally this year, it'd been like such a rushed event to get everything set up. But I will say like we're literally less than a minute after this news came out, Jeff Keighley was already capitalizing on it with Summer Game. All he put out was a winking face emoji. Yeah. Literally less than a minute. Like my news were back to back like that. I think I sent it to you guys.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, like back to back like that. I mean, that's going to set up for a massive Summer Game Fest. And I feel like, since E3 is backing out for this year, man, this
Jeff just has free reign to do whatever.
Yeah, this is Jeff's time to take over that spot permanently.
Yeah, Jeff is just he's just got all the power right now.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, as I roll up in my new vehicle just released with all these new trailers in the back.
Yeah, like I'm not kidding, guys. Like, since this is the case, depending on who he can snag, like if Nintendo will be there for their direct, if they're just going to do a direct separately, whatever. Like, this is Jeff's chance to actually really solidify his spot in that summer range. And even if E3 comes back next year, Summer Game Fest may still be the better show of the two.
Yeah.
So, dude, I'm pretty pumped for Summer Game Fest. And, also be curious to see if there's any other changes to the show. Because normally with Summer Game Fest, while it's like a multi-day thing, really only the kickoff day is like the big one. You know what I mean?
Usually.
Yeah, because like when we talked about it last year, it was just like that first kickoff day. We had a shit ton of announcements. Super dope. And then the rest of it was just like, kind of just smaller, like talk, which, I'm not going to say those were bad by any means. Because that's the sort of stuff that we kind of miss in these events sometimes is just the developers to get a chance to just talk about the games, That's something that we sometimes get missed every once in a while. And that was pretty much the rest of Summer Game Fest instead of just like a giant showcase of stuff like E3 is. So it'll be interesting to see what Summer Game Fest is. But, E3 trying to come back in 2023, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that it won't be back in 23, but I don't think it's going to stick around much longer after that, though.
I mean, be curious to see what they do next year.
Yeah.
They're trying to do this big show for...
Probably going to try to do in-person event.
Yeah, that the event that a lot of people are losing any sort of care or faith in.
Right. Okay. All right. let's dive into the new PS Plus. Finally get that announcement in a giant blog post the other day. So this Project Spartacus is simply just PS Plus. That's simply what it is. And all this is, as it was hyped up to be for the longest time, is just PS Plus and PS Now, integrating whatever. PS Now is going away, as we already knew. PS Now cards have been, they've been gone for like, what, 6 months maybe?
Yeah,
if not longer. They've been gone for a while. So it's 3 tiers, as we already kind of knew. The first tier is PS Plus Essential. It's basically PS Plus Now that we have right now. That's all it is. You got your 2, or maybe 3 free monthly games. You get the discounts, cloud storage, online play, prices, $10 a month, 25 quarterly, 60 for year. Standard what we have right now, right? Next up, we have the PS Plus Extra. Provides all the benefits of the Essential tier. Also adds up to 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, including blockbuster hits from PlayStation Studios catalog and third-party partners. Games in the Extra tier are downloadable for play. That's going to be $15 a month, $40 for a quarter, or $100 for a year. That's basically just PlayStation Now. That's what that is, especially with them adding that catalog. That's essentially what PlayStation Now kind of has as it is, with like 400 plus PlayStation 4, PS5 games. And then lastly, PlayStation Plus Premium provides all benefits of the previous 2 tiers, adds up to 340 additional games. PS3 games are available via cloud streaming, which that brought up a lot of conversation this week. It also has a catalog of beloved classics available in both streaming and download options for PS1, PS2, and PSP, which the PSP is going to be the interesting one because that's one that was not there previously. It was just, I think it was just PS1, PS2, and PS3, I think. So PSP, that's going to be the new one. That's pretty dope. As well as time-limited game trials will also be offered in that tier, so customers can try select games before they buy. $18 a month, or $50 quarterly, or $120 a year. Some extra little tidbits for you. Like I said, this whole thing, basically, all it really is combining PlayStation Plus and PS Now, plus gives you some extra retro gaming as well. And when I say it combines them, it even combines them down to the fucking price point. For $60 a year for the PlayStation Now, and then the amount for the same amount for PS Plus. It's pretty much down to the price point. Like I said, the main issue people have is still no actual like normal emulation for PS3 games where you can download it, since it's going to be available cloud streaming. And then there is no day one releases for new games, which that's one of the things where people are trying to point out, like, the advertising for this leading up to it being a Game Pass competitor is not the right way to advertise it if you're not going to have day one releases, which I agree. But when it comes to the no emulation for PS3 games, still ruffled a lot of feathers, because it's just like a PS5 can very easily emulate PS3 games. It's just Sony hasn't essentially spent the money to make that happen. Apparently now, according to Jeff Grau, apparently he has heard they are working on it, but it's one of those things that if you're working on it, why not admit that up front? You know what I mean? That, hey, this is coming, but it's just going to come later, which, I mean, is what it is. I mean, I get what people are upset about it, because since PlayStation Now has been a thing, PlayStation 3 games has always been streaming. It has never been available to download, which, we kind of know how, not from our own personal experiences, from just what we've seen, streaming games kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Especially in PlayStation Now's case, because I've heard nothing but negative things about PlayStation Now and their streaming.
Oh, streaming on PS Now fucking blows.
Yeah. So with this whole thing, number one, I'm glad we can download a majority of games. Number two, for the streaming that is there, hopefully the streaming is improved, and hopefully they are going to actually work on getting emulation for PS3 on the PlayStation 5, because I mean it's 100% possible. And it's so funny, the massive holdup that Sony tries to portray for why they've never done it is because it all comes back to the processor they used in the PS3 and just how advanced it was for the time. And developers were never able to utilize it correctly because it was just too strong. It was called the cell processor. This is stuff I've just found out recently. Okay, I'm not going to act like I've known this for 10 years, because I did some digging on this, why it hasn't been a thing, and essentially it's because of the cell processor. Sony took apparently a big gamble using that for the PlayStation 3, which also prompted its $600 starting launch price, and Sony was under the impression that the cell processor was going to be the next big thing. It was going to be in everything, right? And it flopped, and it was not in everything. And then they reverted back going to another processor to in the PS4, which dropped the price, made things a lot more easier to work on for developers and gaming and stuff. But apparently, because all the PS3 games are made with that cell processor, apparently that's the holdup. But even still, a PS5 could easily run the games. You know, at least that's what I've seen from other developers that I follow, is that, yeah, it's 100% possible. Sony just didn't want to spend the fucking money on it.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, what's you boys' thoughts on the PlayStation Plus like rebrand? You know, how you guys feeling about it? You guys interested in this service? You know, because I think, do all of us have PlayStation Plus right now? Because I have PlayStation Plus. I don't have.
I do.
Okay, I don't. I've never had PlayStation Now, but I have PlayStation Plus. How are we feeling about the service as a whole?
I do not plan on upgrading mine at all.
Okay.
I'll stick at my base tier, because I mean, base tier you get same benefits as PS Now.
Yep. Or
So,
PS Plus.
PS Plus now. Oh yeah, so I mean, it's basically the same thing as it is now.
Yes.
And it's like It's like $5 extra a month for, like, what, the ability to download a
Catalog of
like
games.
select catalog of games. It's like, I mean, maybe I'll flip through there, but unless I see anything that really jumps out at me that I'm like itching to play, I don't really see me going for it.
And I mean, for people who like you, Alex, who has your shit paid up, it just automatically turns into that. So, I mean, for people who are already paid up, it's not really big of an issue. They're just now getting access to that catalog of PS Now games. Mm-hmm. In terms of me, I mean, the price points aren't terrible. I would not be turned away from the price points. My big thing is we only have a vague catalog. So same thing with Switch's upgrade thing is what's actually going to be in that catalog. Because the only one I would be cared to do, if at all, would be the premium. And I'd be more curious to see what the retro catalog is.
See, that's how I feel about it. Like, I'm very interested in the premium tier. But number one, I want to see what the base catalog is going to be for the PS4, PS5 games. That's number one. Number two, what will be the catalog for the retro games? You know, especially since they're including PSP, which that's, like I said, a whole new thing. You know, they haven't done that before. So that's my big thing, is what exactly is going to be the catalog? You know, because they haven't obviously jumped into that. You know, we still have a couple months before this actually is all going to go over. But I mean, I'm interested in terms of price point. I'm with you. I'm not like steered away from the price point, you know, because I'm really not. I mean, it's cheaper than Game Pass. If you break it down, Game Pass, you know, you paying it monthly, whatever, since they only have monthly and quarterly, like it's going to be cheaper than Game Pass for a year to buy that $120 a month, that $120 a year, whatever. So price point, I'm not steered away at all. It's just going to ultimately come down to like what's all going to be available in there, you know, so that's what I'm looking forward to. But I mean, hey, if it's got a pretty decent catalog, you know, I'll get it, you know, and I'll jump into it. I enjoyed some PSP. PSP was fun.
I mean, if I look at the catalog and go, I own half of these, fuck this.
That would potentially happen to you. How's your retro hunting been?
I mean, it's been slower. I mean, I've spent this week. So I have Kirby, and I've beat the first two zones. But then I got my GameCube working, and now I've been playing Paper Mario Thousand Year Door and Yu-Gi-Oh! Falsebound Kingdom.
Yo, Falsebound Kingdom is good.
Here's the thing. I had data for it that I didn't realize I had, and I didn't know Joey Wheeler had a story mode in it.
Falsebound Kingdom is a good game. Out of the three that came out in that era of gaming, it was my favorite. I don't remember the one that came out for the Xbox. All I remember is that it came with the Winged Dragon of Ra. That's the only thing I remember about it. But Duels of Roses was pretty fun on the PlayStation 2, but I liked Falsebound Kingdom the most.
Duels of Roses was good. I liked the Capsule one, where it was a tactics game.
Oh.
It was a capsule game. I mean, pretty much it was Duke Devlin's Dice Monsters.
Right.
Just with urns, and it was a tactics game.
I mean, there's no competition that's going to be like your favorite one just because it's a tactics game.
Correct.
But yeah, no, I mean, kind of like you guys said, I don't initially have any plans to upgrade my tier, but depending on the PSP games that are in there, that would be what might pull me into
Yeah, you were a big PSP guy.
Yes, he was.
You were a massive PSP guy.
PSP was great.
It was. I don't know what happened to mine.
I don't know what happened to the two I had.
PSPs just seem to vanish. I swear to God. Everyone I know that had one.
I tell you, it's the PSP ninja.
I
Sony
swear.
sent out a squad of ninjas to go collect PSPs.
Like, get rid of this. We don't ever want to hear about a PSP ever again. I swear, everyone that I know that had one, it's gone.
Dude, it's that way with all of my handheld consoles too. Like my DS is gone. Somehow I have
gave
a
it back
Game Boy
to you.
Advance sitting right there, and I don't have a DS anymore. How did the Game Boy Advance make it this far?
It did make it. Yeah, it made it a long way. You lost your Wii U somehow.
I didn't have a Wii U.
That's a lie. You did. You had a Wii U. You invested in Amiibos. You invested in the Pro Controller. You lost the Pro Controller, too. I think it's expensive now.
You keep saying this, but I don't remember ever John talking about these stuff ever.
I remember. I went over his house and we played Smash.
Yeah, you're the only one who knows this.
Whoa, hold on. Don't point this at me.
Did you actually just break into John's house and just play
No.
Smash over there?
No.
But I mean, overall, it's not a bad thing. I mean, if you're wanting for something like Game Pass on for PlayStation, may not be for you. Seeing as I know a lot of people are turned off by the no day one exclusives,
Yeah, that is
and
a
things
big
like
thing.
that. I mean, for someone like me who doesn't really care about day one exclusives, and more curious at just being able to access older games, which are a pain in the gas to get a hold of nowadays. I mean, that's more to my thing.
Yeah,
So
I
it's-
agree.
So if you're interested in that, this could definitely be something for you if you don't want to go out trying price hunting for decent games that aren't shot.
Right. Yeah.
I guess my other thing that I want to hear more information on is one, how often games are going to rotate through the catalog.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're not doing day ones, but how soon will they take newer games and actually release them into that catalog? Would be the other thing. Like, I want to know how often they're rotating the games in and out.
One rumor that I heard was a year. A year after a game's release, it'll be added.
I mean, that's not awful. I mean, the buzz will probably be died down for it by that time, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be more
It'll be-
curious to see if they end up doing what Game Pass does and remove games periodically, or if they'll just let the catalog build up.
I imagine they'll remove.
It'll be interesting because one of the great things about Game Pass for me has been games that I wanted to play, forgot about, and then noticed them on Game Pass, and then I've been downloading them and slowly playing through the catalog that I've had, basically, of like games I want to play but forgot about. So it might be great for that as well, especially since they're gonna have more than 400 games that you can download from. So
Yeah.
Yeah, literally just in the second tier, and then it adds another 340 on the next tier.
they'll have plenty of games in there. It's just, I guess it's a matter of what they actually put in there.
Right. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see when we're actually gonna see the games. Like, is it gonna be like, oh, just when it comes out, or are we gonna get like a decent list beforehand? You know, because I feel like putting out the list beforehand will help maybe pushing people to actually be ready to sign up.
Would.
Like, I would definitely like to know what's going to be on there. But then also when it does come out, I'm curious to hear more or see it for myself. If I do just do the upgrade day one, is see how this streaming is going to be, because I just imagine it's still going to be dog shit, because I've heard literally nothing but terrible things about PlayStation now.
If it hasn't been upgraded at all from PlayStation Now, it's going to be pretty shit.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Because I bought PS Now once to try and play some games. It's funny enough, it was actually the Sly Cooper series, because I always heard about it. And I mean, playing through the first game, I maybe crashed. I mean, after every couple hours, wasn't too bad. But when I tried to play Sly 2, I crashed almost like every couple minutes.
Yikes.
I was just like, fuck it. Sly series is dead to me.
That was the line. Dead game, dead series. Sly 4 or Sly 5 will come out eventually. I've heard it's in the works. I forgot who was working on it, but I've heard it's in the works. So we'll see. But yeah, any other thoughts on PlayStation Now stuff? Because if not, we can go ahead and look to start kind of wrapping stuff up.
I don't know, Zach's comments about like the games crashing on him, dude. That's just one of the things that infuriates me the most. And surprisingly, you know what game had been crashing on me recently? Fucking Triangle Strategy keeps crashing on me.
Really?
Yeah.
Your freaking broken ass Switch.
Something's wrong with that Smash Switch of yours.
Luckily, the quick save in it is very useful.
Oh yeah, the quick save's phenomenal. It saves all the time.
The quick save in that game is one of the best I've ever seen.
Because I mean, I think it literally saves after every movement, doesn't it?
Yeah, it saves after the movements, and then like if you're going through story stuff, it'll save anytime the screen transitions and it like has that brief black, that's a save moment.
Which brings the question, where are you on Triangle Strategy if you're playing it?
I haven't made it much further. Something else came up.
Lost Ark.
I didn't say it.
Lost Ark.
We know. Lost Ark, and then your occasional like love-hate relationship of Rocket League.
Yes. When one makes me mad, I go play the other.
John's stuck in a cycle he'll never be able to break out of.
I did go back to a game that I started a while back on Game Pass that I was excited about. I've gone back to my Celasta playthrough.
Oh,
okay.
That's a fun game.
Yeah, so I went back to it yesterday and started playing it. So games that I've started and then got like halfway through. I'm making my way back through my rounds right now.
You can actually get yourself off Lost Ark long enough to do so.
Yeah, kind of.
No.
John is so deep into Lost Ark.
He's playing Celeste, and on his screen there's a bell going. And as soon as he sees it pops.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of Lost Ark he's been playing, he hasn't even been playing much TFT, which is shocking.
Yeah, I think of the 6.5, I think I've only played the one night with Zach.
Yeah, pretty sure. I don't think I've seen him on at all since.
I log in every now and then with the intention to play, and then
Lost Ark, and then Lost Ark.
Not even necessarily just Lost Ark. Just like, and then you go scroll through Game Pass, or you go scroll through like Steam library, and then you get distracted.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I have not played anything, I think, all week. I haven't had time to sit down and play anything. I might have played like Fire Emblem for like 30 minutes one afternoon, but that was it. So I haven't had a chance to play anything. I'm hoping I want to play some games so bad. So hopefully here soon I can get back and play some games. I've been stupid busy. I was gonna say, no, I haven't watched anything either. No, I haven't watched anything. But I will be looking forward to seeing Shield Hero though, coming out this week.
Is that this week?
Yep, Wednesday.
Cool.
Did you Did you look into that one series that I said I watched a trailer for?
Nope.
You need to. I think you would enjoy this series more than me. Summertime rendering, I think.
I'm sorry, I'm down the webtoon rabbit hole again.
Yeah, I'm currently reading Omniscient Reader at the moment.
What do you mean, attaboy? I'm not. What? I go down the rabbit hole. I don't go to the romance door in Castlevania.
Hey.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with going down that rabbit hole?
I mean, there's nothing. It's just you said attaboy. I was like, I'm on the completely opposite side of you, John.
Hey, I'm just saying attaboy
John, I'm
to
on
turn
your side.
away from to turn away from the anime side of it for a little while. Turn your back on it.
Turn your back on it.
That side.
That's not true.
It's not true, because while I'm reading that, there's a bento fight going on in the background.
Oh, my fucking God.
Yeah, but that's just going on in the background. You don't have to be paying attention to it.
I mean, I really don't.
No. All right, well, we can look to go ahead and wrap things up. I've got some other stuff that I'd like to do here today, this afternoon here at this house.
Cool.
So I'll hit the music. Let's make our way out of here.
Well, thank you for making it this far in the video. If you like what's going on, hit that like, subscribe, comment, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. And if you're watching this on YouTube and really want to help us out, you can hit that subscribe. Then also hit the bell whenever anything gets posted up, so you can at least give it something. We need something. And you can do that at youtube.com/sparky3. No, youtube.com/sparky3.
Bingo.
If you made it to the end of the episode, thank you for coming to our apparently now bi-weekly podcast.
Lately, yeah.
So hopefully we'll see you back in 2 weeks, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, looking forward to getting back on like a normal schedule. I really am, man. You see, you're shaking your head, but I am. I'm legitimately ready to get back on normal schedule just because my schedule's been so fucked up recently. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am, especially for like, let's say Anime Plus. I'm looking forward to getting back to like what we've been doing, you know, before. I really am. Like, dude, I'm tired of this. I want this to be done, like in levels I can't even begin to express. So I'm looking forward to getting back on the normal grind here in the near future. Whatever's going to pop out in the next couple of weeks. Do everything that they said and more. We definitely appreciate that. And of course, make sure to go check us out on our website, sparky3.com, where you can sign up for free or sign up for $5 a month. We definitely appreciate that. Get early access to podcast episodes. John Art has now leaned back to relax. Let's cut to John. Oh no, John, get back. Get back to your relaxing position. Make sure to also go check us out our merch store, sparky3shop.com. We appreciate that. Join the Discord down below. Check out the other shows. And yep, all shows will be on a break this week while I'm doing my move. All 3 shows will be back the week following and be back better than ever. So with that said, until next time, I'm going to see you.
Bye.